Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. In the last one we killed two bosses. Not just one, but two. And we're moving on to the next one. Sorry I said two like I was talking to people like they were dumb kids, but that was just how it came out in my mind. Just like, oh boy, two bosses. I guess with context of the entire conversation it sounds less demeaning. Because it's like oh two. Whoa, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Forgive me, I'm clinically insane. Not literally, not really, but I might as well be. Either way. So, we're not gonna bother with these guys. Like I said in the last episode, these guys are just, I find them boring. I don't care about them. Nobody cares about them. Their own family doesn't even care about them. That's why they live in this, I think this is, it's not a sewer because there's not water, but it like, to me it feels like a sewer that doesn't have water. I don't know. I mean, I guess at the bottom there's water, but I feel like that's just because there's like a leak somewhere. I mean, if you recall, this whole area was surrounded by like water and stuff. Alright. Left me out of this thing? Okay. See, here's the water. We got a leak. Yeah, and now while this guy may be a cleric and have spells for faith and stuff like that, the first thing I'm probably going to do is get a few utility-based faith spells, and I'll be increasing my agility via my attunement, even though it's probably not really necessary. But it's just because I'm thinking ahead. This guy's going to eventually be heavy-duty on the faith, but I also want him to use physical weapons, not lightning weapons. I might make him use lightning weapons for a while, but that's not going to be the end goal. So
cool.
So raising my strength and dexterity will be a thing. I might just raise my faith first, actually, just because that's one stat to focus on rather than two.
Have you?
I think.
I can only.
Wait, is that?
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that was your last thing. But yeah, it'll be a lot easier to just focus on the one faith stat than the two strength and dexterity stats. But you know, it will eventually will it may not even be in the course of this playthrough. It might just be something I do later on. Maybe I'll do PvP with this character. That'd probably be a good idea, probably a good plan. And at that point, then because I don't like to cap my soul level in this game. Dark Souls 1 it made sense because it affected your ability to, it affected who you would invade. But it doesn't make any sense in Dark Souls 2 because it doesn't. It's very simple, it doesn't. So why? And people are like, oh, it's for balance and for things to be fair. Yeah, it's balanced for everyone else who decides to do that. But I hate to say this, guys. I think that's actually the great minority of people who all want to stick around like 120 or whatever it was, or 150. That's a great minority. Hell, if you check the website Beyond the Bonfire, pretty sure it shows a lot more people are above 200. Might not anymore. It's been a long time since I checked, but I think the only reason why it seems like it's a majority of people is because, you know, like people like Pete Peterson and stuff like that, back in the game came out and stuff like that, they kind of like fucking apparently brought it upon themselves to declare. I mean, I'm acting like I hate these guys. No, I love these guys, but you know, like Pete Peterson, Dreaded Cone, stuff like that. Apparently, they all just brought it upon themselves to declare what the official soul level should be, like within the first couple days the game was out. Which I love these guys, but that was so stupid of them. I'd word it better, but I can't really think of it. Like, the game was brand new. Nobody knew what was balanced yet, and yet they were just like, well, let's just do this. Oh, there's like one extra useful stat. Let's just add on a few points. No. I feel like the game is actually the most balanced when people are around level 250, which people would say like, whoa, that's a lot. There's going to be no more variety. Everyone's going to be using the same thing. No, they don't. I can guarantee you that. I run into so much diversity. I feel like if you limit your soul level, then you're causing people to all be the same, because then you can basically only select like one or two stats before people end up you stick with like one or two stats. It's gonna be like the same thing, and because you can buff things like lightning weapons and stuff like that, it's just gonna be like, okay, I'm dumping everything in the faith and attunement and and like vitality, endurance, and vigor and stuff like that. And I'm gonna make this weapon a lightning weapon, and I'm gonna buff it. Or you know, the same thing, and then you can just do the exact same thing except use intellect, and instead of miracles you get spells. And it's like I'm gonna pick this weapon, make it intellect, and I'm gonna buff it. And that's all that would ever happen. And then when you at least when you get to the super late game, that's when you have people who oh god, I'm bleeding. I don't like bleeding. When you get to the super late game though, everyone uses physical weapons because they're a little bit better. However, since everyone has 40 strength and dexterity, they can choose whatever weapon they want. Because it's not like any weapon is suddenly worse because you have like a good strength and dexterity. Because you know, dexterity weapons are just as good as strength weapons, and those are also just as good as quality weapons. So as a result, anyone uses whatever they want, and they have. There's not enough attunement slots to make having a wide variety of magic really viable. I mean, everyone would think it is, but there's a lot of really good spells take up a ton of slots, especially since everyone wants to use Sacred Oath, which takes up I think like 4 attunement slots, maybe 3. And that cuts back. And as a result, you can't have that variety. So what people will do, they'll pick one class still. Especially since using something like the Black Witch's Staff is not recommended at higher levels because you tend to not do as much damage as you need to do. There they are. I'm trying to bait them out. So even then, it's basically use whatever weapon and stuff like that want, and you pick a magic class. And I know it sounds like it's exactly the same as the other one, but it's not. Because when you would go Faith or Intellect, you would increase your strength or dexterity just enough to use that weapon, which means that you would usually use something that doesn't have the highest stat requirements. Like, granted, I know I'm saying that using a longsword, but you know, you find a lot more people using interesting weapons that require like 40 strength or something like that to use and stuff like that. And that's the main thing, is that since you can have high strength and dexterity while using a magic, that allows a lot more people to use a lot greater variety of weapons, and that's the main thing. And you know, you would think that like, oh, everyone has to have like full halos and stuff like that because they should be able to faster with it. Not really. Ever since they introduced the Flynn's Ring, people also tend to want to keep their vitality as low as possible so they can use the Flynn's Ring. Because they all want to stack that physical damage as much as they can. And sometimes people don't, you know, it's the thing is, everyone can be the same, and there's still a lot of reasons for everyone to be exactly the same at the later levels, but they have a lot more options to not be the same, which is like the main thing. What's in here? Okay, we got one of these. There we go. That's how you roll. Slight angle, not too much. And that's the main thing. You have
what? With Kevlar?
You're given more options to not be the same, and I feel like that's the main thing. I feel like I've been ranting on this way too long, though, and especially since especially since I feel like I've been repeating a lot of the same bits. So let's just move on. I just think higher level stuff is better. Plus, the fights don't last like 5 seconds, as you could see earlier when one guy. I mean, he was twinking, but you could very quickly get a weapon upgraded, and like not the armor though. But yeah, anyway. So, these guys, they can be pretty tough customers. Also, my weapon is degrading faster than I thought it would. Have I been hitting corpses? I must have hit a few corpses. That's okay, I got repair powders at the end of the... Well, no, it wasn't at the end of the last episode, it was the start of this one, right? I forget. Anyway, it was recent. So if I need to, I can use repair powder. Let's go this way. You know, there was a bell up there by that lever I hit, which calls the boat that you need to move on. But you can actually hit that with an arrow and set off the bell, which is really cool because you can kind of skip a chunk of the level. But yeah. But yeah, I think that repair powder might be necessary. But there's a shortcut up here. We're going to open it. And we're also going to backtrack a little bit to get some stuff. We're not going to summon that yet. That's an NPC, that's Lucatiel. So I know the sign's going to be there when I get back. So we're just going to wait for a moment. Ow, that hurt. You ninny. I called him a ninny. Called him a fucking ninny. No, don't break my fucking chest. Get over here. It's my chest. You're not to break it. Oh my, you're not to break me either. Isn't there an enemy that comes up behind you as well? Oh, that was close though. Whew. Let's go ahead. Hey, another repair pattern. How convenient. And some Titanite shards. All this Titanite of the early game, man. I swear, it's one of the most useful things you'll get. Because, like I said earlier, upgrading your weapon makes probably the biggest difference. Until late game. I think at late game having really high stats is actually extremely noticeable and beneficial. I mean, I guess I would say it's more noticeable to have a plus 10 equipment and like base stats than it is to have 99 stats but base equipment. That's what I would say, at least. That's from my understanding. But yeah. Alright, now, let's use no, we don't want to use a Pharaoh's Lockstone on this because it'll light things up, which will make some things, like, it makes some bits of it a little easier, because those little hand guys before that would cause bleed on you, they'll hide in buildings, so they'll stay out of your way. But I'm already, like, pretty much at the end of this, so I don't really see it being that big of a deal. Plus, I want to hang on to any that I don't like really need to use, because there's some areas that you can only access with them. Well, really, just like one, maybe two. But yeah, it's like two. But you know, making things slightly easier, I don't feel it's as valuable as getting new loot, because you can still play better to get to an area that might be a bit more difficult. But to get new loot that requires a Lockstone, you would have to go get one from like Covenant or whatever, unless you found one, or unless you already have enough. But you know, if you don't have any, and then you need to use it to get the loot, then you're kind of shit out of luck. Unless you want to go through the trouble of joining the Rat Covenant, waiting around for somebody to invade you via the use of the rat stuff, and then kill them, and then go all the way back. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's more trouble than just trying to go through an area that would otherwise be slightly more difficult. So, your friend's dead. I'm poisoned. Fuck. Lucatiel's poisoned too. Shit. Well, I guess while I'm poisoned, I might as well just break that. I'll heal us up. Lucatiel. No, Lucatiel, come closer. Thank you. Gotta beat that poison, man. I don't want it to kill me. Not after all this progress I've made. Alright. So you see poison building up a little bit. It's just because I still have some on my feet. It's about to stop, though. Yeah, any second. There it goes. Okay, it's over. No longer poison. S/shard. That's pretty dandy. Okay, get the thing. Get the thing. Here's the thing: when you're going after these crystal lizards, unless they're like running to a cliff, don't rush it. You're going to be there for plenty of time. Focus on hitting them rather than just flailing away, because since they're on the ground, a lot of weapons actually have a hard time hitting things that are that small on the ground. So, you know, focus on your swings. You'll have plenty of time. And the Royal Soldier Ring. This will increase our equipment load. Yay. Let's get rid of the Ring of Blades, just because since our weapon is an element, it's not as beneficial as you would think to have the Ring of Blades on. Because when something, I don't think it applies to anything that naturally has split damage, but when you make it something an element, I believe it like halves the effectiveness of the ring. Because you're also kind of like, for some reason, like since you're having like the physical damage of the weapon, it also, for whatever reason, halves the physical damage you gain from the ring. I don't know why, but I guess it makes sense. Owie. Yeah, save me, Lucatiel. I'm going to use some repair powder now. Because the longsword's at risk. And it's really our only viable weapon right now, so we want to keep it safe. Or, you know, keep it in a state of not broken. There's this dude thinking he's all clever hiding over here. Some more dudes that think they're super clever. He's like, oh fuck, I saw my friend get knocked out. Lucatiel, no! She went after him. Whatever, I was hoping she'd stick around for this part up here. But hey, you know what? I'm sure that made someone laugh. I wanted to, like, stand in her way to try and prevent her from jumping off like a fucking idiot, but I was worried that she would just push me in with her. Which, you know, if we could both swim, that sounds like it'd be a pleasant evening. But none of us can, so we would just die. Speaking of which, why can nobody swim in Dark Souls? Like in any of the Souls games, you're not getting anyone into water, they're just dead. I mean, I guess it's understandable for my character because he's wearing heavy armor, but if you put on light armor, you can't swim. It's just... Is it like an undead thing? Like they just kind of like lose their ability to think about how to swim? Did they just have like gaping hole? Like even when they're in human form, did it like still have like notably kind of like big enough holes in their body to like just have the water pour in and weigh them down or something like that? I don't know. Oh, I suppose it would be water in water, so it wouldn't really like make you... Well, no, it would keep you under because as parts of your body go out of the water, I suppose, then it would be like weighing you back down to push you into the water. But once you're in the water, I feel like since it's like this, you know, the water is the same density as other water, so I don't feel like it would make you sink farther. I don't know. Well, I look like a fucking scientist. I don't know. I'm probably like wrong as hell and just appear like the biggest dumbass to just like anyone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. So I'm just gonna stop talking. That's kind of rule number one. If you don't know what you're talking about, you should probably just be like, you know what? I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking. Whoa! I didn't think you had a third attack on there. I know about Dark Souls. I'll talk about Dark Souls. How about them Dark Souls, guys? Let's pop a life gem just to be safe. I just realized, there's no music? I've had the music not playing like this whole time. I think I turned it off when doing something else. I think I was like watching a stream and I forgot to turn it back on. So yeah, I should probably rectify that. Wow, this weapon is still getting pretty damaged while in this fight. The thing I used repair pattern never would have made it. Wait, there's another thing, right? No, it wasn't. Okay. And you're dead. Done dead. South Century Soul. Might as well get this. It's a pyro glove. Might as well get it. Pyromancy Flame and Fireball. And it's just a bell and the boat rides off and you're just like, hey, look at me, I'm captain of the ship. How is he sailing that on his own, by the way? There's no way you can sail a ship that size on your own. I guess it's moving on its own. Whatever. It would have been cool if you see like a ghost crew show up and they're just sailing the boat. Apparently my guy got tripped when he got off the boat because, you know, he was like getting up there or whatever. Let's just get to that bonfire. Bonfire, you'll get caught up in the bonfire. I'm sure that's been said by like a million people. But yeah, can't wait for the lighting in the DirectX 11 version. I hear that it's supposed to be a lot more like the lighting that you would see in like the early gameplay demos. Like, remember like that? I think it was like a 12-minute. Was it 12 or 20 minutes? I think it was 12-minute. You know, it was like a 12-minute demo. Plus, they're also apparently changing some of the areas. You remember in the 12-minute demo, once again, there was the you know, the room that you go into was super dark. You know, the thing where they were showing on the torch. Apparently, it's going to be super dark again. And I really hope that they make a lot of areas much darker and like require the torch, because you know it's Dark Souls. Make things dark. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to like be dark, referring to darkness, dark, but you get what I mean. You know, I would like to see some of the nifty lighting taking effect. Either way, we picked up some shards and stuff like that, so let's see about upgrading our weapon. We should be able to upgrade our longsword now to another level. Yeah. We don't have any chunks though, so that's a shame. But we can upgrade our shield. And we can probably upgrade most of our armor more, yeah.
I'll be around.
Coolio. Now, let's...
Is that it?
We'll just
Here,
level
to
up
see
a
luck.
bit.
However,
And all that stuff. level up. Also, we have a shard. She just said that. I almost like let it fly, go right over my head. There you go, 20. That's what we want for now. And we'll increase our vigor. Yeah, it's me too. I like good, solid, even numbers. When I can, leveling up. I mean, it's just, I don't know why. It bugs me a little bit. Either way, oh wait, shard.
Bear, seek.
Either way, though,
Yes.
that'll do it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one, where we'll continue down the path we were. The path is going to, I think, like essentially intertwine with the one we were on a few episodes ago when we took down the Sentinels. So you know that'll be interesting. And oh wait, was there another one? I don't think so. Either way, I'll see you then, guys. Have a good one.